So AI overviews has been out for a while now, and there's been an increase of visibility, and it's being more prevalent within the searches today. And now, especially with AI mode recently coming out, this is basically just affecting the overall general behavior when it comes to search. And this means there's been a significant increase when it comes to zero-click searches. In essence, zero-click searches are basically when a search engine provides the answer directly based on a specific query, or they don't really need to click on a website to get the answers that they've been looking for. And this is where AI modes and AI overviews pretty much come into play. And there's been more of an increase when it comes to impressions and a decrease when it comes to the overall click-through rate, since a lot of people are getting pretty much the queries answered based on the search they have with these new features. So this means it's a lot more competitive to be more visible based on these new features with these generative searches. Even then, with this new zero-click searches, doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a lot of traffic coming in, even though if you have visibility based on this. But in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how to get more visibility when it comes to AI mode or AI overviews, and try to rank for a lot of these zero-click searches to gain more of that authority when it comes to your industry or space online, and also trying to get the majority of the clicks and visibility, since this has taken up a lot of real estate space when it comes to the SERPs. All right, guys, I'm gonna break down exactly how to optimize your content for AI mode and AI overviews. So just a quick rundown and some highlights. AI overviews basically has been increasing based on like the time since it's been released. So it's at 13.14% within March 2025, and that's up 6.49% since January. So the main trigger when it comes to AI mode or AI overviews specifically is informational content. So a lot of like top of the funnel type keywords have a lot of these queries trigger the AI overviews, and a number of navigational queries that trigger AI overviews has doubled since January. So this is basically showcasing to you like how much more like Google is actually pushing these new features like AI overviews, and now they're really trying to push a lot more of like the AI mode as well, making it more important that you optimize for these type of zero-click type searches. So on average, keywords that trigger AI overviews show zero-click behavior, which I mentioned before, which is basically just showcasing the answer based on the search query in itself. So like you don't really need to click into a website to get the response. So for example, what does celery salt taste like, which is a weird search, but you can see here like it already gives you the answer and pretty much provides the answer to your question. Now it's important to just showcase that Google seems like they're going to be shifting when it comes to how they're going to prioritize a lot of content, since recently a lot of people have been scaling their content with AI, and they're trying to push out more of the visibility when it comes to AI mode and AI overviews, meaning they want more fresher content to basically utilize and use for their queries, which sounds kind of depressing because in a way they're not really rewarding the website admins publishing really good content, since they're just going to pretty much use that for their AI mode and AI overviews for like that zero-click search. And in general, like I mentioned before, like the click-through rate has been decreasing since people don't really find the need to really look or like dive into like a website, since they already have their questions answered with like these new features. But that's the sad world we live in, and as marketers we need to adapt. So pretty much scaled content abuse, people like Google has been really hammering down on the scaled content abuse, and this might change in the future. And then we can see here as well, basically within Search Central Live Madrid, there was a slide basically showcasing search quality raters guideline, which basically means they're going to be having search quality in the future. And so it seems like they're going to add a metric where search quality can be rated. And this way they're going to be looking at things such as, auto or like AI generated type text, or if there's being pretty much just content that has no value for the visitors visiting the website as well. So I think these two will play hand in hand when it comes to the scaled content abuse and the search quality raters. That way they have more high quality content to pretty much just scrape from and provide for their new AI mode and AI overviews results, since at the end of the day, all of this content is basically trained on web publishers on Google, which they're pretty much just using for the responses. So it seems like they want more high quality content being pushed out, but at the same time not really credit the web publisher. Just a quick run on how AI mode works. It basically just goes down through a downstream of tasks and basically compiles a lot of context when it comes to the query basically someone's searching for, and it starts scraping the web all these actions basically that it performs. So how do you optimize your content to become more visible in these generative searches? So the first thing you want to focus on is structure. Obviously, do the keyword research and see what people are searching for. Most chances are that, the user behavior would be pretty much similar on the amount of like searches a month for a specific like seed keyword within like these 0-click searches. So basically, when I talk about focusing on structure, you really want to use your H1, H2s, and H3s and have clean HTML, have clear format on the structure of like the content in itself and following best practices. And then you really want to create questions within the headers, which typically works best and is preferred, and then have a really short paragraph that's concise and answers the question. So if we look at here, like I searched for the query like can dogs eat banana, and this is like the number one cited source. So in the title and H1, like the title taglines, they talk about can dogs eat bananas, but then again, they reference the same question in an H2 format, the question as in, H2, can dogs eat banana? And then you can see here, it's really short. Yes, bananas are safe for dogs to eat. And then they also add an external link to pretty much provide more of like that trusted source. I'm not sure where they're linking to as this external source, but I forgot, but pretty much it's a trustable source. But you can see here the structure is really short. Using lists, listicles, bullet points, numbers, and stuff like that also is a clear format to answer like the question. And these LLM, like Gemini LLM models, pretty much reward these type of structures. But that's what you want to do. You really want to just have, that's pretty much what you really want to have, just a really easy, digestible content that these search engine crawlers can pretty much analyze and read. And questions is the main thing that, and setting these headers with questions is the main thing like these search engine crawlers are looking for. So another thing that these search engine crawlers are looking for is a recognizable source, right? So Google needs to automate clues about who to believe. They don't want to just pretty much cite any website, even if they have really like high quality content that's pretty structured really easily for them to be able to read. This means you really want to include visible authors, clear roles, or references. So for example, it'll be extremely helpful if you have a cited author within the blocks. For example, we can see here, there's a cited author within this post. And then it would be helpful too if you like link to like the social media profiles to provide more context into who this person is. And this is especially true when it comes to like the healthcare or like the law type of industries where the cited sources are just much more important since it's much more strict when it comes to like these type of industries. And then you can also see just like if you are a well-known brand, this wouldn't probably matter as much since Google already knows that you're an established brand that already has a lot of branded searches. So they like these type of websites would get prioritized more too when it comes to the AI mode or AI overviews features or being featured within the AI mode or AI overviews. Now at number 3, you really want to focus on language and originality. And this comes back to the point where I mentioned where like this shift when it comes to like this new content scored system that pretty much Google might implement in the future, and the scaled content, and also being not a target for the scaled content abuse and getting a manual action within your website. Since especially like Google's aware that a lot of people are using AI, even though they mentioned it before, they're like, hey, AI is okay as long as it's valuable and helpful content, but now they're pretty much going back on the word, which is typical Google. And AI overviews, AI mode, whatever you want to call it, Gemini, they pretty much are starting to recognize repetition even without like copy and paste, since a lot of these LLMs like Claude, ChatGPT, people use when it comes to pretty much producing content has sort of this common wording they'll put out. So like examples of like AI related phrases, like they would use words like unveil, delve, and they also have like this weird like hyphen dash like that looks like this when it comes to creating content. So a lot of people will see like this long hyphen dash. And pretty much Google is going to be analyzing this and really understanding which content which content isn't written by AI. But at the same time, it is kind of hard though to really understand which content has been written with AI. Obviously, if you don't really have like a really well prompted AI content piece, it should be easy to tell. But even then, like some people really have really good prompts and really give a lot of information to feed within like these LMs to write like much more higher quality content. But this is something you really want to prioritize, especially like when you're writing any future content that you decide to upload. make sure that you have no repetitions, no copy paste, and don't really have AI related phrases that are common within your text. Now, at number 4 is using structured data or schema markup. So basically, for example, if there's like a long tail query of somebody searching for like a budget friendly hotel in San Francisco, blah, 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 blah. Schema markup is basically providing more context into the content that you provide. So in this case, using like local schema business markup would provide more context. So give like the location string, the budget level, the purpose, occupants, etc. And then the structured data. And then basically the LLM would read the structured data to really help and understand this. And there's different types of structured data or schema markup. There's like local business, video, article schema markup, job listings if you have like a job posting within your website, etc. And I can just quickly show you an example of this. So this is a client website I've worked on before, and we implemented schema markup. But you can see here, like we have different type of schema markup being provided within this. And then you can see here, if we click on local business, there's a lot of more additional information based on this and like where they're served, the business name. You can see here the location, the number, etc. And these LLM models are pretty much have an easier time reading this. And just a quick confirmation, like even Microsoft confirmed like Schema helps its specific LLM, in this case, like they use Copilot, understand your content. So it's really important to really implement schema markup so that way these LLM models can understand the context of the content you're putting out. Hopefully you guys found value in this video. If you have any questions regarding generative search, just leave it in the comments below, or you can also reach out to me within my website, which will be in the description. If you want a free video SEO audit to really see how you can improve generative searches or zero-click searches within your brand specifically, feel free to click that, and I can give you an in-detailed, tailored video audit on improvements for that as well. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.